Jake,
Ryan,
how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Had a crazy day. Honestly didn't even realize that the show was happening because my brain just isn't working because we had TD on the Broncos podcast. So, warning you guys in advance, we're doing a full-on, Andre and I call this a tableside Caesar.
Okay.
Because, when they come to the side of the table, they make the lettuce, all that stuff. They make the dressing right in front of you.
Right.
That's what we're doing for everyone today. We're tableside Caesar bets.
Let's do it.
Yes, a la carte. So stoked for that. Also, if you haven't seen it, go check out TD on the Broncos podcast. It was sick, and definitely all I thought about all day. So let's jump into this. Thursday night football tonight, and here is one very important thing to note.
Tell me.
2 Thursdays ago,
Yes.
Broncos, Colts.
Oh, did we have to?
9-12. Broncos lose on a 4th down inside the 5. Game over. Or was that the right score? It was 21 points. Yeah, 9-12.
Yeah.
Last week, Bears Commanders. That one went for 19 points. So was that 12-7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bears lose on a last-second 4th down attempt inside the 5.
Right.
What do the Broncos and Bears have in common?
They don't play good offensive football.
They do have that in common. Our company covers them.
Yes.
All City covers the Broncos and the Bears and one other team in the NFL, and that is the Cardinals.
I see where we're going. Finally.
We are destined for the Cardinals to lose a extremely low-scoring game on a 4th down attempt from inside the 5. It's just that's what's going to happen.
Well, I love that because I think the under was one of my favorite things. I mean, all year that's what it's been in these primetime games. So
yes, I believe unders are 13-7 in primetime games this year, maybe 13-6, depending on how many games there's been. Unders as a whole in the NFL are hitting at a historic rate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what am I looking for? Underdogs straight up are hitting at a historic rate. Not at a historic rate, but at a very solid rate. And teams that are getting less than 40% of the bets from the public are hitting at a super high rate. So basically everything that everyone wants to happen isn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's why fantasy points are down 20%.
Right.
It just everyone wants to bet on what they want to see, and it's not what's happening. So of course I'd love to hit a bunch of Kyler Murray overs and all this stuff.
Hopkins.
All and it's just you have to bet smarter than that. So
interesting. I like that information though, because I think coming into this one, Hopkins is one of those guys that a lot of people are looking at and going, I mean,
he's gonna go off.
Exactly.
What is your feelings on DeAndre Hopkins? I always feel like he's not as good as we think he is.
It's like, I mean, you look at a lot of the best guys in the NFL, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they're elite at something run after catch, route running for the respective guys. And Hopkins is just better at taking the football away from a lot of other people. So I totally get that. It's not really, he's an outlier in that sense. You usually don't see these jump ball possession guys, for lack of a better term, really being the best guys in the NFL, which he is.
It's true. He's so prolific at that jump ball, 50-50 ball, probably call it a 80-20 ball when he's involved. But it's also, I also have never felt like that was the best match for Kyler Murray.
Yeah. So one thing I think of, you go to when Cam Newton was around that MVP time and they were adding guys like Devin Funchess, Kelvin Benjamin, and they were saying, get these big bodies, get them big targets to go through. He didn't really get a lot better and more proficient at passing until McCaffrey came in. Steve Smith was a guy that these guys get open running routes. They create separation. It's not the... So I get what you mean.
And they went and got Hollywood Brown for that.
Right.
And it's such a bummer for them that they never got to see Hollywood and Hop on the same field. It kind of reminds me of the Broncos. Like you have Von Miller, you draft Bradley Chubb, and you almost never see those guys get to play together. It's a bummer for sure. And I think that would have really unlocked the best out of both of those guys. Because what are you going to... I don't know how you defend that, honestly. With Hops, you can't guard him one-on-one ever.
Right.
And you can't really guard Hollywood Brown one-on-one ever.
I mean, in theory, it sounds great, but you got to remember this is a Cliff Kingsbury-led offense where it's just dysfunctional at an alarming rate, too. I mean, look at the talent this team has with Rondale Moore. They draft Trey McBride. I mean, in theory and on paper, this team should be so much better, but I think I learned that mistake last year betting on the Cardinals, I think, was kind of taking them as this team that is highly prolific, can score a lot of points, but they just fall flat so much more often than when they do have those big explosive games.
I forgot to mention something. Today is what is known as a sports equinox.
Yes.
And I believe it's like the third time in 30 years or something like that, where we have NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL games all on the same day. There's also MLS games today.
Playoff games today. We have the Philly Union.
So I've been thinking about this. There is a world where we could actually get a Broncos, Nuggets, Rockies, Avs, Rapids all on the same day in a given year. It would just require the Rockies and Rapids to make the playoffs. Rapids could hold up their end of the bargain. Rockies, maybe not as likely. But anyways, we can talk about this later, but there is a 100% SGPX, we call it SGPP, Equinox boost. When you combine, do you have to do all sports?
So I think it is, yeah. Which is, I think, why I didn't opt into it. But yeah, this is what it says. It says,
I think you just have to do 2 games. I think.
Is it?
Yep.
I'm reading it now.
Single leg, exclude single game SGPs. Wagering on this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good. Also, last housekeeping note, rough night for us betting last night. It's never a good night when both teams lose and they're both in action, but it also just happened to like not go how we envisioned it at all.
To Utah, man.
I know. Well, and then like we're like, okay, Jokic rebounds, he gets 6, or maybe 4. Jokic assists, he gets 6. We needed him to get 8. We didn't think Jokic points. Well, he scored a bunch of points. We thought MPJ. Actually, the only bet I won last night was MPJ points. Wanted to get MPJ 3s, but he didn't hit a third one. It was just like everything that we envisioned about that game was wrong, and probably one of the reasons why the Nuggets lost to the Jazz.
So just continuing on with the trends of the football season, it looks like.
Yeah, and sadly, it is the end of my extraordinary heater.
I mean, it had to end at some time.
It did. All good.
And
things.
It was an all-timer.
It by far the best of my life, so I can't complain. I was hoping it would just.
Which one was your favorite? I think I know which one I'd say if I was in your position. But
Dulcich.
Which one? Yes, 100%.
Dulcich first TD is an all-time. I believe that is the highest odds on a single moment that I've ever hit.
Interesting.
Plus 4,000.
I had a good bet last year on F1. I took Daniel Ricciardo to win the Monza, the Italian Grand Prix. He started from second, but he was like plus 2,000 or something like that. It was a great
Was he
one.
going up against like.
I mean, it was Verstappen and Hamilton.
Yeah.
They crashed out of that race, though.
Oh, my God. That's great.
Yep.
I've had a couple like good golf bets that have hit, but I don't think those are ever like quite plus 4,000. It's like I had a Colin Morikawa one that became famous on this show that was like 3,300. Like plus 4,000 on a touchdown is as good as it gets.
And you had any time too. I mean, you guys doubled up on that.
We did double up on that. And the other great one was you telling me that Jamar Chase had a 60-yard touchdown.
Oh, yes.
When I needed a 40-yard touchdown, and you're just like, Jamar Chase 60-yard touchdown. I'm like, what? You're like, yep, it's right there. I like jump out of my seat, look at the TV. That was epic too. So,
we had a good weekend last week.
We did. It was good. It was good.
Let's try and carry that over then.
Let's start this one off. And I think you said it. First bet I like, under 44. That is you kind of just have to take it at this point in primetime games.
Right. It's almost like a heat check for the under. Like
it really is.
I've taken it the last 2-3 weeks. I'm going to take it again just because it's been hitting.
I keep thinking that they're going to lower these numbers, especially in primetime. So I don't see how this. I mean, I guess I could see it, but I really don't expect this to go into the 40s. I expect another low-scoring, 21-17 maybe style game. You think that maybe at some point this Cardinals offense will break out, but like you said, Cliff Kingsbury, it's not working. He does the same thing that really bothers me about Nathaniel Hackett, which is it just feels like he's calling plays in a vacuum,
right?
Rather than, I always say calling plays is telling a story, and it doesn't feel like he's telling a story either. It's the two most I notice it for is Hackett and Kingsbury. Is just like, I like this play, run it. I like this play, run it. It's like you have to run one play for a reason, even if that reason is only to set up another play later. Like
right.
They're doing the same thing that they were doing last year, the Broncos. I mean, with the Jerry Jeudy in motion, KJ Hamler in motion, like you have to at least hand that off once in a while so it does something.
I mean, it's when you watch guys like Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur come out with these scripted drives, and you see that they're setting stuff up down the road. You know what I mean? You don't really see a lot of that from these offenses, and I think it says a lot that the Cardinals' best play is really Kyler running around for 5+ seconds and just launching a ball or taking off. Like, that's their best offensive play.
TD was just telling us about the script, and he was, I was asking him what was it like because he eventually went for 7 straight playoff games over 100 yards. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, dude, what was it like feeling like no one could stop you? And he's like, well, that's not really how I looked at it, but what I did notice was when I saw the script, we scripted the first 15, 11 of them were outside zone for me. So I was like, okay, they're really counting on me here. I better deliver for them, which is just funny to think about, like the script, so much is made of the Shanahan script. Mm-hmm. 11 of the plays were just wide zone for TD. Like it worked like great.
Sometimes football is as simple as just giving the ball to your best player.
Great point. Yep.
So,
and the problem for the Broncos is I don't even know who that is right now.
Well,
Courtland Sutton.
Yeah. I mean, you'd like to see more from those guys, obviously. Yeah. I think the best offensive player is hurt right now, though, in Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he was at least going to be your most reliable because the defense can't. That's one thing about when you have a great running game, not to get into football nerdom here, but the defense can't say, like, we're not going to allow the running back to get free. Now, obviously, you can commit extra resources to the box, but that's what teams were doing to the Broncos back then.
Right.
And then that just sets up everything else. But, like, last week, it was just really disappointing to see the Chargers were just like, well, we're just not going to let you go to Courtland Sutton. And then they just didn't. They couldn't do anything. So, anyways, I'm interested in pass attempts.
Okay.
Kyler Murray, over 35.5 pass attempts. What do you think of that? The only thing I worry about is do the Saints shorten the game by Taysom Hilling it up?
I mean, that has to be the game plan for them.
I know.
So, and the Cardinal, is James Conner healthy still?
Let's see.
Anyways,
it doesn't look like we know yet if he's playing.
Okay.
And I say that only because he's not in the rushing yards props.
Okay. But looking at Kyler's attempts just through this season so far, below 35, it's happened twice. Opening week, he threw for 34 attempts. He threw 32 attempts against Carolina. They weren't really in that Kansas City game, but they won that Carolina game, so they weren't throwing a lot. But 49 attempts against the Raiders, 58 against the Rams. I like 35 over for sure.
Let's add that.
Real quick, from Bo Bragg from PHNX Cardinals.
Brock, yep.
Brock. James Conner, Matt Prater, and Trayvon Mullen are all inactive for tonight.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's get in on this before they change it. I like the over on that. And then I'm sad that, like, the Cardinals have killed my love of Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I loved Kyler Murray coming out of college.
Do you want to talk about something interesting that I've been seeing just in the NFL space? I've seen a lot of people talking about, would you rather have Russ right now or Kyler Murray? And who would say no in a potential
Russ
trade?
For Kyler trade?
Yes. I think the Broncos eat that up.
The Broncos should definitely say yes. The only thing, I don't know. The one thing that I was always giving Russ over Kyler was like leadership. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I think it's because he's not playing well. It doesn't feel like the Broncos have taken to his leadership.
Right.
Which is a huge problem on the whole.
Yeah.
But it is something that would probably undo any sort of like, oh, you take Russ because he's the more mature, the better leader. If the team isn't taking to the leadership, then you take the younger guy. Mm-hmm. But why would the Cardinals want to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just kind of people spitballing. I think a lot of people or smart people would know that it's Keim and Kingsbury that are the problems. I mean, you can talk about Kyler's work ethic and the, attitude stuff with him too. It's honestly kind of opposite of Russell Wilson, and where When things are going bad for Russ, you still kind of see him, at least
trying.
Yeah, not quitting, but Kyler is like so quick to just head down type of thing. So I just thought it was an interesting question, though.
Also, I don't know if this is true, but someone tweeted, obviously short week for the Cardinals, and a new Call of Duty came out this weekend.
Yes. Double XP weekend.
Oh, jeez. That's like, forget double XP. New game.
Yeah.
Like, that actually worries me for the Cardinals and makes me even more confident in that under.
To Kyler's credit, I think it's only campaign only right now.
Oh, what does that mean? I'm not I only play Madden.
I don't think multiplayer, the new Warzone's out yet.
Oh, so he can't hop online and talk shit to 10-year-olds?
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well, 15-year-old.
Right.
They grew up. He's kind of grew up.
Really? When I was on there, it did not feel like I was talking to 15-year-olds when I was
It's changed.
15 myself. Okay. So we have 2 of our big 3, unless there's anything you want to throw in that I haven't mentioned yet.
Okay, how do we feel about Andy Dalton over 0.5 interceptions?
So I would be more in on this if I knew what they were doing at quarterback.
Right.
Because there's so much Taysom Hill last week, and I feel like that was they unlocked a secret.
So then how about over 32.5 Taysom Hill rushing yards?
Now you're talking. I also kind of like the rushing yards for Kyler.
34.5 for him?
Yeah, but I like Taysom better.
It just locked it.
That is crazy.
Literally right now.
What about Alvin Kamara
Probably.
receptions?
Okay, let's see what we got here. Alvin Kamara, 32 receiving yards.
It's open. It went down to 30.5. Taysom Hill.
What the heck? That was so weird.
That was really strange.
Literally, as I clicked it, it locked up, and then you did the same thing. It's like they're watching sometimes.
They are.
Receptions for Alvin Kamara is over 4.5. Wow, that's a lot.
That's kind of high. It's plus money, too.
Yep. Chris Olave over 4.5 as well. That also feels steep. I did see they're getting you here. DeAndre, there's a Amazon TNF SGP.
Oh, no.
Good job on them for getting that sponsor in, because I just gave them free advertising.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins over 60 yards, Chris Olave over 60 yards, and then over 43.5, which obviously we're never throwing the over 43 in, but I wonder if you go with those 2 and the under. But even then, I don't want to bet on offense on Thursday night anymore.
Not a good idea.
At least exciting offense. I do support the Taysom Hill rushing yards because I feel as though there will be a run fit problem for the Vance Joseph-led Cardinals defense on one of those.
They've been playing well, though, defensively, the Cardinals.
They have.
Kind of surprisingly, so.
Sean G., the homie, says Taysom Hill anytime TD and over 29.5 rushing yards is plus 300.
I like that.
Kind of like that, too. So right now what we have in the slip is, wow, okay, then the 30.5 went away now.
For a Taysom?
Yeah. And now 31.5 is back.
I still have 30.5. Oh, wait, it did change. I see it now. Yep.
What are you guys doing, DraftKings? Also, Kyler Murray passing attempts went down 34.5.
We love that.
Yeah. I feel like we need to lock this in while they're doing all this
I already got the
shuffling.
passing attempts one.
All right.
It went down to minus 130, though.
So this is we're doing a team big 3. Yeah. It's Kyler Murray, under 44. Kyler Murray, over 34.5 passing attempts, under 44 in the game, and Taysom Hill, over 31.5 rushing yards. You like it?
Sounds pretty fire to me.
All right.
What does
Let's
this come out to? Doesn't have odds for me for some reason.
You can't parlay. Well, we'd have to
we
SGP
can't.
it
Yeah.
to get that as a parlay. Which DraftKings, it would be nice if there was an option that just said, "Would you like to SGP?"
Yes, please.
It would be nice. Anyways, shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook, where you can get in on this. You can get in on SGPs. You can take crazy first touchdown scorer bets that pay you out and allow you to go on a nice little shopping spree to get new jackets for London. If you're into those types of very specific experiences, it's the best place to get your bets in. The best place to play along with these primetime games that wouldn't be all that exciting if you didn't have action on them. I had the under in the Colts game. I had the under last week for the Bears. Like, say what you will, when you have the under and offense isn't happening, it makes it 10 times as enjoyable.
Well, and the Bears just with the interception right on the goal line, they were stopped on fourth down by the goal line. It was beautiful under better. I don't even know the word. I don't want to say porn, but I just said it, so.
There you go. Under better porn.
Trey McBride is also plus 4,000 for first time touchdown tonight, dude.
Wow. Can we get like I don't know. I actually have him on my fantasy team, so I can go see if there's any sort of like fantasy update on him. Just want to know like.
Just a little blurb like
yes.
Trey McBride has been more active or something. Yeah,
exactly. The team said they're looking to get him more involved.
Yes.
Oh geez. The last news on him was 16 days ago, and it was McBride records first catches of career, reeled in all 3 targets for 24 yards against Carolina. So let's see. Oh geez. Okay.
That's all he has.
His fantasy points are literally 0 in every game, except for the Carolina game where he had 3 for 24. That's not good.
Not encouraging. But, I mean, Dulcich had even less before his game.
Yeah, but the reason he had less is because he wasn't available.
Right.
Oh, man. I wonder if the Broncos won that race. I think the Broncos would have taken McBride if he was there.
Probably.
And they took Dulcich instead. Okay. I don't think we can do that. But maybe that's the reason why we should. It's always tough. Okay.
A little sprinkle never hurt.
Anyways, you're right. DraftKings Sportsbook, although I don't sprinkle. That's my philosophy.
Okay.
If I'm going to bet something, it has to be a full unit.
Well, when you hit a plus 4,000, it's a lot easier said than done.
But that's the thing is, if you hit plus 4,000, but you only put 1/10 of a unit on it,
right?
It's not nearly as rewarding than when you win 40 units because you put 1 unit on it.
Exactly. True.
Anyways, DraftKings Sportsbook, get in on all this good stuff, and also get in on $200 in free bets when you bet on any NFL money line. Great way to get your account started. Great way to join the folks over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR and you sign up to get those great deals. Of course, age and eligibility restrictions apply. See our show notes for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, yeah. Do we have a dilemma of the day?
No.
Oh, my God. What is happening here?
By the way, Hank was telling me this is his favorite bit.
Oh, really?
That whenever you guys get mad at me that we don't have a dilemma.
That's good. I'm glad that Hank enjoys that one. Okay. Our dilemma of the day is, how do we capitalize on the fact that every sport is playing tonight? And one of the ways is this 100% SGPX boost. Oh, so it says build an SGPX across the big 4 sports to double your winnings. Okay, so you do have to get every sport involved, which means 2 picks from 1 game in every sport.
Okay, wow.
This is going to be quite the journey. So
I'm in the Equinox tab. Let's do it then.
let's join the Equinox here. Let's start with Saints Cardinals, since that's where we've been. We're gonna make this one under 43,
of course,
and or 43.5, and
it's 44 showing from here right now.
Did you flip it into SGP mode?
It gets me every time.
Got us the other day too. Passing touchdowns. Oh, by the way, each leg has to be over plus or minus 300. So we can't do any like freebies.
Okay.
Should we just do Kyler passing attempts?
Or Taysom rushing yards. I like that one.
Okay. All right. I'm in on that. It's kind of like one good screen, which I always say when I'm betting on running back receiving yards, but it's just one busted run fit.
So Sean says you just need 2 picks from 1 sport plus a money line from another sport. Only need 2 legs with 1 leg being an SGP.
It says from all 4 sports.
I don't know. I can't even find the SGP button right now, so I'm just going off of you.
Okay.
I went to Equinox, and I don't know what's going on.
Just go into, just click the Cardinals game.
Oh, okay.
And then once you're in there, then you just flip it. There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Wait, you need 2 picks from 1 sport. Can you bring that up on the screen? Yeah, it's behind the camera for me. You need 2 picks from one sport plus a money line from another sport. Only need 2 legs with one leg being an SGP. Okay. If this is true, which we trust Sean, he's one of the smartest people I know.
Me, so that's a lie.
What? Oh, no, it's not you. Yeah. And then we just need a money line from another sport. Okay. So I feel what about college football? Do you have any leanings in Virginia, Georgia Tech, or Troy, South Alabama? Shout out to the Jags.
I mean, we could just ride the Jags. Are they big dogs?
No, they're slight faves.
So,
At home, at our favorite stadium.
I mean,
It does feel like the vibes are pointing us in that direction.
there we go.
All right. South Alabama money line. The under. I have to clear out my bet slip so I can get the actual odds on this. He's right. We can get 100% profit boost on that.
Alrighty then.
So wait, no, that's a different boost. 100. No, okay, it's 100%. But why did it? I'm confused now because max $50, 100% profit boost offer. But when it went from 451 to 686, which is not 100%.
No.
Take it away. Plus 451. Oh, I didn't do now I know what happened. No, it still did the same thing. That looks like a 50% profit boost to me because plus 451 with 100% profit boost would be plus 902.
So, okay, I'm struggling with the SGP thing right now myself, honestly.
So it only apply. Oh, what happens here, Sean, is that it only boosts the odds of the SGP 100%.
Okay.
So meaning it takes the SGP from plus 235 to plus 470. And then you get in on
Keith says it's only 100% if you have 10 picks, but I think that's just regular stepped up.
Yeah, no, that's
just
a stepped up. That's a stepped up. We are very confused here. I think. Yeah, so it'll only. I want to try something else.
Okay.
We could do. I just don't know anything about the Troy or South Alabama offenses because we could do like the money line in and over under and that make it simple. But I don't know anything about
it's
this.
47. That's I don't know.
Should we just go big under night?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to flip this thing, especially since we have a Buffs podcast to get rolling here in a second.
I'm already on the Rapids one right now.
South Alabama money line and under 47.5. That is plus 955 parlayed. And then it still just only boosts one leg. Okay, well, that's just the world that we live in. That gets it to plus 1190, which is the radio station for CU Boulder. Got to be good juju there.
Good vibes, yeah.
Yes. So there you go. Finishing us off. Under 43 in Saints Cardinals. Over 29.5 Taysom Hill rushing yards. South Alabama money line and under 47.5 in that game. Boom.
Beautiful.
All right. That's going to wrap it up for us on bets. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will be right back live in a few minutes talking Buffs.
Let's do it.